So looking for a Jewish surrogate is definitely one of the biggest challenges. There are many intended parents that look for that would like to use a Jewish surrogate, and one of the biggest challenges is, in fact, to find those surrogates. When we do find those surrogates, we have to make sure that not only are they Jewish, and possibly we may want them to be single or at least not married in accordance to Jewish law, such as divorce, widow, possibly married to a non-Jew. We want to make sure that they also fulfill all of our other requirements, such as, are they within the appropriate age to be a surrogate? Do they have a child? They must have a child in order to do this. So when we talk to surrogates who are Jewish, a lot of the times they want to speak with their own rabbi to make sure that they fully understand this process and that it is okay. And we found that a lot of the responses from the rabbis has affected their decision making significantly. The abortion issue, that has also been a large challenge because a lot of the rabbis will tell the surrogates that they cannot abort the child, and that really affects whether or not we can in fact use them as a surrogate if they do not wish to abort a child. So many couples, whether they're Jewish or not, don't even know what they would do in a situation if something was wrong with the baby, or if they ended up with triplets and that would be a health risk to the babies. So whether or not they would abort a baby or do selective reduction of one of the fetuses, they don't know what they would do, but they of course want the option of choosing themselves. They want the option of telling the surrogate, we would like you to have an abortion, or we would like you to do selective reduction. That's why it is very important from the very beginning to have an understanding of the abortion issues and whether or not the surrogate agrees to having an abortion and putting that in the decision making for the intended parents. And what we have found is that, especially with the religious surrogates, when they speak to their rabbi, or if they're very religious even before they speak to the rabbi, they will not abort a fetus, even if, in one case, a surrogate told me, even if it is a stillborn baby. So it is a huge issue because the intended parents definitely want to be able to make that decision. We interview our surrogates, and we do have a very strict screening process. And when we interview them, one of our very first questions to them is, why do you want to become a surrogate? And that answer is very, very important as to whether or not we're going to accept them into our program or not. And the two biggest reasons that people say as to why they want to be a surrogate is, number one, they have friends or family members that are going through infertility, and they have seen them go through infertility, and they really want to help other people, and pregnancy comes very easy to them, and so they want to help other people create a family and build their families. Another reason is that some surrogates love being pregnant. They love being pregnant. They feel great when they're pregnant. They want to be pregnant again, but they don't want any more children. So they think that surrogacy is just the best thing for them, and that's why they want to become a surrogate. Of course, there's always a financial aspect to this, because at the end of the day, they are getting compensated somewhat. So that is fine for compensation to be part of the equation, but it 100% cannot be the only reason why someone is doing this, and it can't even be the first reason why someone is doing this. And we definitely have had a couple of surrogates that came forward, and it was very obvious that the monetary reason was the first and very important reason as to why they were doing this, and we had to reject them because we won't work with those type of surrogates. Because at the end of the day, they are taking advantage of the intended parents. Surrogacy in the United States is very different than surrogacy in other countries, and one of the ways that it varies is that in the United States, the surrogates do have contact with the intended parents, and that contact, that relationship is very, very important. It is very important throughout the pregnancy. Now, after the baby is born, it's a different story. In the beginning, we do have a contract between the intended parents and the surrogates, and they decide what type of future contact are they going to have. Is the surrogate going to continue having contact with the intended parents? Is the surrogate going to continue, or will she have any type of relationship, or will she have any visitations with the future child? And some people want that, and other people don't. And so after the baby's born, it is completely up to the intended parents and the surrogates as to how they want to move forward. But during the actual pregnancy and during the surrogacy journey itself, it is very important that they do have a close relationship.